At your age, you're going to be having a lot of urges. You're going to want to take off your clothes and touch each other. But if you do touch each other, you will get chlamydia and die.
What is your experience with sex education in primary and secondary schooling?
We started sex ed in 6th grade, and we didn't do that much in 7th and 8th grade, and then 9th and 12th grade are the only other times we did it. Mostly like human anatomy, and then in high school we did like birth control and condoms and all of that.
I had sex ed in 5th grade, 6th grade, and then, yeah, I don't think I had it again. I mean, other than, like, your health classes, like, in high school. It was more of a wait until you're in a committed relationship, at least, like, as an adult. But if you do it beforehand, obviously, use protection.
School, middle school, we just learned about STDs. That was it. And periods.
Yeah, a lot of periods. We didn't ever, like, have the sex talk ever. They just expected that you, like, knew about it and that, like, contraception was good. No, they never talked about contraception, but, like, don't do birth control.
They didn't talk about contraception or, like, condoms or anything.
Okay.
Just, like, don't get an STD.
In high school, we had a pretty, like, extensive health class where we learned about, like, STDs and sex and, like, different contraceptives and, like, all of that stuff. And then in middle school, we, like, touched upon it a little bit, and just mostly I remember talking about, like, STDs, and then we, like, watched a video of a birth.
Okay.
So, like, I guess in high school I had the opportunity to, like, you know, take classes where I learned about sex and stuff and anatomy, and that was pretty interesting. In middle school, I took family and consumer sciences. We learned about, like, STDs. And then back to, like, elementary school, we learned about puberty in gym class, which is good. So, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't have any sex ed until grade 8, where in a textbook, like when we were studying human reproduction, in one paragraph, they just sort of explained intercourse. And in grade 10, they said that girls shouldn't get pregnant before 18 because they're not mentally ready for it. And that condoms and other protection should be used to prevent STIs. And that was it.
What level of sex education has GW given you?
I think a lot. We've had to do, well, I'm in a sorority, and we had to do a Greek life thing on sexual education and, like, sexual assault, which was interesting. And then having to go to the Let's Talk About It, I thought was actually really important. Yeah.
There's, like, little signs in the hallways and stuff that say, like, safe sex. Like, consent is good.
I mean, we had, like, towards the beginning of the year, I remember, like, talking about consent a lot, but past, like, the actual, like, consent, I don't really remember, like, much education.
The only thing I can think of is the sexual assault prevention training at the beginning of the year, where we learned about consent and everything, so, yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
What type of environment does GW cultivate surrounding sex?
I really don't think that they've done enough to combat, like, the frat culture at GW, where, like, girls are put into very dangerous situations. And honestly, like, I think that there are a lot of organizations that try to, like, talk about consent and stuff like that, but I don't think administration is, like, taking that on very kind of active.
I think that I definitely, like, feel pressure to have sex. I think that, I don't know if it's necessarily, like, GW cultivating it, but I think that, like, among students, everyone feels like everybody else is, like, having a lot of sex. And so, yeah, I definitely feel that.
I'm not pressured to do so, but I do feel like everyone else does, and that pressures, like, other people into doing
I don't really know what kind of environment it cultivates. I mean, I know people are having sex, but I don't feel pressured in any way, shape, or form to. So.
Do you know where you can get condoms on campus?
No.
CVS Health Center.
Yeah. Vending machine.
There's a
Sure.
vending machine.
Yeah, in the basement.
You're RA.
Yes and no.
What do you mean by that?
Actually, never mind. I do.
Do you know where you can get tested for STDs/STIs at GW? Do you know which type of testing they offer?
You can get tested at the Colonial Health Center, but I'm not sure like what tests they do or like when or things like that.
No, I really don't know where I can get tested for an STD at GW.
Okay. No.
We are trying to raise awareness of the prevalence of sexually transmitted diseases, particularly on college campuses. By sampling several GW students from different regions, we have discovered that their prior sex ed programs in primary and secondary schooling, or lack thereof, as well as GW's approaches to sexual health, contribute to knowledge and actions. According to the CDC, there are approximately 19 million new STD infections each year, half of them among people ages 15 to 24. Many cases go undiagnosed because most STDs do not produce symptoms, or they produce symptoms that go unnoticed. Therefore, students do not seek medical help.
An important thing to note about GW is that they don't offer or give any inclusive sexual education either before or during a student's time at college. 1 in 4 students in college have an STD. With statistics like that, colleges need to offer sexual education programs. Colleges across the country cannot assume that their students have had a proper sexual education. College is the time where this education should be learned, since everyone is over the age of 18 and are considered adults. The statistics expose how college students are the target population, since people ages 15 to 24 represent only 25 of the sexually active populations. They account for more than half of the STD diagnoses each year. According to the American Sexual Health Association, more than half of all people have an STD or STI at some point in their lifetime. As a side note, the term STI is used more frequently because many people have gotten the infection without appearance of symptoms.
So, colleges especially cultivate a sexual environment with the presence of drugs and alcohol. A program that should be put into place is that all colleges nationwide must require some type of sexual education, focusing on preventing STDs and knowledge about the specific college's health programs and how they can help. For example, before coming to GW or George Washington University, the college made the students take an extensive drug, alcohol, and rape class online called Think About It, but there was no program explaining what sex is and the risks. Freshmen also had to attend a mandatory sexual assault prevention session at the beginning of the year, but again, there was no information on sexual education incorporated into this vet. Students, before entering into the fall semester, should have to take an online sexual education course before becoming official students. In addition, when students arrive in the summer for Colonial Inauguration, a 3-day program getting future students acquainted with GW, GW should educate students on the services they provide and where they can get access to student health care, including condoms and birth control. For example, GW offers free HIV testing every Wednesday of the month. For any other testings, there is a fee, which can be less expensive using the Colonial Health Care. This knowledge will be really helpful for students who don't really know anything about sex and don't know anything about birth control.
It is very important for students of all backgrounds to have a foundation of sexual education before coming to college. If they do not have this, it may be too late. This also reinforces the fact that GW needs to have more sufficiently mandated sexual education to reinforce what should be taught earlier on. Furthermore, a lack in sexual education in regard to sexually transmitted diseases or infections can cause disparities in sexual health once coming to college.
So where can you get condoms on campus?
kids.
Oh look, it's my RA.
Okay.
Do you need condoms?
Sure thing. I just grabbed some Chipotle.
Oh my gosh. Thank
Here.
you so much.
Take at least more than 10.
Oh, thank you so much. Sorry.